Fast forward, any come our channel so I have AGH politics already. On your podcast or a friend and make headlines. And a jumper and ADB Exomo, Ewa, and idiom Yaho Braximu. Yumbo Ingra, a political house in na Ejadema, Unia Enye Axem Koto Akra. Na a Afari Gyan, Manoka say. Otimi Ekona Homogium as a retired electoral commissioner. Communicator be abetraxe a Pan-African television or track say Uhe Papano Inuma or boy ya Ghana Yabako 70 Efa about 2 homes and seminal. Nidi Empemuda say you pony din se ono and a emitic over as the next electoral commission chairperson and our chairman. Ene na Ghana for Edi Usebo and Bobo Aje Papanoso. Na in sema oken bargaining to re-engage that man into electoral commission. Well, let's find it from the man. Here is GH Politics Urban. Thanks for watching.
Petition to remove the EC. I'll start from where my learned senior ended. He made a statement that I loved so much. And the statement was, if Afari Gyan were to be brought in now, Ghanaians will embrace him. And that is a true statement. Ghanaians will embrace Afari Gyan because President Akuffo allowed him to work, although he did not appoint him into office. When Afari Gyan was the EC in the 1996 elections, well, in this country, the NDC as a political party supported Afari Gyan. The NPP opposed Afari Gyan. In the 2000 elections, it was still Afari Gyan who was driving the EC. The NDC supported wholeheartedly Afari Gyan, but the NPP opposed Afari Gyan, saying that he was in bed with the NDC and he was trying to rig the elections in favor of the NDC. But NPP won the elections. When Akuffo took the mantle as the president of the republic, Afari Gyan was still the EC. He was kept, and in 2004, 2004 elections, yes, after the 2004 elections, the MPP were all for Afari Gyan. The NDC, they were against Afari Gyan. Akuffo won the elections. He was still the EC in 2004, he was about 2008. Afari Gyan was still there. The elections were held. We were in this country. The NDC couldn't see eye with Afari Gyan, although they brought him into power. The MPP supported Afari Gyan. The NDC won. So I'm saying so because he got the opportunity to serve, or Ghanaians got the opportunity to observe Afari Gyan serving when NDC was in power and also when MPP was in power. So that has been the roadmap as far as the two political parties are concerned. Whoever is on the throne supports the EC. Whoever is in opposition is against the EC. And that is a fact. So in the year 20, I think he went on retirement, and President Mills, he was then the president when Afari Gyan went on retirement. A new EC was brought in the person of Madame Charlotte Osei. The NPP was against Madame Charlotte Osei. The NDC was all for Charlotte Osei. But we never learned our lessons from what we went through when Afari Gyan was the EC. Afari Gyan's case is supposed to teach us all good lessons so we can build our institutions. When we talk of irregularities, I am very sure that it cannot be that in the reign of Afari Gyan, there could have been no irregularities. It's not possible, because at least it's a human institution that we are running. I will even say that even this morning, it is possible that on this show, there has been some irregularities. Why? Because it's a human institution. So should every irregularity call for the head of an EC? Now, when why do I keep forgetting her name? Charlotte was saying who was in power. Yes, there was a petition against her, and MPP rallied for her removal. NDC was against, were supporting that it shouldn't be removed. You see, as far as Charlotte Osei's petition is concerned, it was clear that within the EC, the body EC themselves, they were fighting among themselves. There is no dispute about that. And a petition was brought. So, the first point I want to make is that we should allow our institutions and their heads and the people that we appoint into authority the room to operate. In the 2012, or let me say 2013 election petition, but we call it 2012 for simplicity's sake, Justice Atuguba said something, and it was very profound, that elections are won at the polling stations. Sana, from where we have moved from 1992 to the current state, 2024-2025, can anybody be bold enough to tell me that an EC is capable of determining who becomes the president of the republic? With all the measures that we've put in place, I totally disagree. I totally disagree. So you see, this behavior of you made a statement against me, your posture is against me, and for that matter, when I am in office, you have to go. It's unfortunate. Let us build the nation, and we shouldn't just think of our political parties. If we think of our political parties alone, the nation will be the loser. So if Afari Gyan has this track record, why can't we keep our other ECs? I'm very sure that should this Jane Mensah remain in office, by the time we go to the polls 2028, I won't be surprised that MPP will have issues with her, and NDC will support her from the records and from what we know so far. Same applies to the former EC lady. If she had remained in her position, I'm very sure that MPP would have supported him. So the question is there something that the sitting government are doing with the ECs, for which reason once they run into opposition, they have a problem with the EC? That's the question I'm asking. So this in quote, monster called irregularity, which has not been defined anywhere by our laws, why should it be just the basis in the state as it is right now to cause the removal of a chief justice, to cause the removal of an EC? I think we should then define what these irregularities are, because as I said, irregularity can mean anything to anybody. So at the end of the day, it is the determiner of what an irregularity is who is going to tell us whether a case has been made against a person petitioned against or not. So what is irregular, or what we determine as irregularity, should be spelled out clearly, so we know there is a path we are following. Sana, 2012, no, 2020 elections. In fact, I should say that we don't know the issues or the real issues that have been raised in the petition, for which reason we are even having this discussion. So we will be running around some of the things that we feel will be the reasons. In 2020, I think the election petition I think that's one issue that I hear NDC running with as being a reason why the EC must go. Just because in announcing the figures, she made some mistakes. And that should be a basis for her to go. In fact, when NDC went to court, they wanted the election nullified on the basis that she called some figures and later changed them. Justice Atuguba in the election petition of 2012 came up with a determination which I agreed with him then, to the dissatisfaction of my party members. But I don't care, because that's what I believe in. And I still agree with him now regarding interpreting the word shall to mean may, because the law had made it in such a way that the EC within the various regions, they are not the returning officers for the what do you call it, the presidential, but at least they certify it. The law made it straight that they shall sign the pink sheet. That's the form 8A, which we call the pink sheet. NPP gathered evidence to the effect that some of the pink sheets were not signed. And NPP was calling that to be the basis for which all those unsigned pink sheets should be nullified. And in law, once it's shall, it means it's mandatory. So the law wanted the, for want of a, I would say, the return of the EC boss to sign. The EC board is not signed. Afari Gyan said, sorry, Justice Atuguba said, no. It is true that the law says he shall sign. But here is the case. The NDC agent has signed. The MPP agent has signed. All others have signed. For whatever reason, the officer did not sign, which is an irregularity. The fact that it is a shall and mandatory does not mean we should interpret the shall to mean shall, for us to annul all these votes and ask the people to go and vote again. And therefore shall will be construed and interpreted as may. He did that. I sat down quietly, I listened to him, and I was happy. My party members that I shared this view with were not happy with me. But today, I believe I'll be vindicated. So the fact that it is there, black and white, does not mean. The fact that there is an irregularity does not mean that we have found this, and therefore, whatever the case may be, she should go. Now, NDC goes to court in 2020. And this issue, when I find people still discussing it, I get surprised. Why? Because the now chairman of the party made us to understand, when he was the general secretary of the party, that the NDC could not collate their figures going to court. He told us that even the lead counsel, the respected Chachuchikata, when he saw the evidence, threw it back at them. General Mosquito used, now Chairman Mosquito, used a certain phrase, because you have no basis for going to court. Your evidence are so hollow that I can't take this to court. That is why, according to Asedun Ketia, Chairman, said that is why when the Supreme Court asked me our figures, I told them we did not bring it here. Why? Because we had no figures. So what was the basis of going to court? Why are you asking that the whole election should be nullified because an irregularity occurred? That the electoral commissioner made a mistake in her tabulations. And although we don't even have figures, the court should go ahead and nullify it. And we are saying this should be a basis for which the electoral chain Mensa and the 2 deputies should be removed. Then why were people, the people who are crying for the removal, why then did they vote for Sedum Ketia and all the people to still come and rule NDC? Because there were irregularities. Simple 1, adding 1 to 2, they couldn't do it. And they are claiming that they won the 2020 elections. Where is the basis? Where are the figures? Because we win elections with figures. You don't have the figures and you are claiming you won the elections. Which elections did you win? For which reason the electoral commissioner should go? Let's also note that per the law, once Article 146 kicks in, you can't resign. There's no room for you to resign. The process has to go through for a proper determination to be made. So, Senna, I will state here that with all that is happening in the country, with the reset agenda by President Mahama, I will be surprised if Jane Mensah survives this petition. I say so because I think it was even stated on this platform. It's been stated this morning because I also heard it, that petitions were sent as far back as January against the EC. And once you receive the petition, the process should kickstart. The question is, why did the president, John Dramani Mahama, not start the process but delayed until now? What we were hearing was that they didn't want to start because they want to get the Chief Justice out first. Just like my senior colleague explained, when it has to do with the removal of the electoral commissioner, it is the Chief Justice who will make a prima facie determination over the petition before anything can start. And therefore, if the one we want to remove, EC, the Chief Justice is Justice Tokonu, thank you very much. Justice Tokonu is still on the seat, and the petition is made against EC, and the NDC's perception, and I find it laughable when they are talking about their viewpoint, they talk as if it is the Ghanaian viewpoint. No, I'm a Ghanaian. That's not our viewpoint. It is the NDC's viewpoint that the Chief Justice had to go. The EC should also follow. Now, it is the NDC's point that both parties, both persons are in bed with the MPP. And therefore, if you present a petition against Jane Mensah to Justice Tokonu, the likely result will be that she will find no prima facie case against her and she will remain. And therefore, let's get the Chief Justice out first. When she is out, just like the President Mahama said that they are going to reset the judiciary, they are going to make sure more NDC lawyers are brought to the bench. The President said it was very unfortunate. And now we are seeing it. I wouldn't say that those who are coming in are NDC. But if what the President in opposition said is anything to go by, then it presupposes that the people that are coming in, although I believe they are very competent with their work and everything, from what the then candidate John Mahama said, it means he's bringing people who, I should say, I want to be very cautious with my words, are very charitable to NDC and are likely to favor NDC. And therefore, there is a Chief Justice in place now. Is that what is happening? That's the question I want to ask this morning. Why is the petition coming in at this point when we have a Chief Justice, a new Chief Justice in? Why didn't they present the petition to Tokonu, Justice Tokonu, for her to make a determination over this matter? What I'm saying is that we should allow our systems to work. from all that President Mahama said in the past, I don't see how. And the pressure on him by his own party people who want us to believe that they are the only Ghanaians. I don't see how Jane Mensah is going to survive this. Even if the petition is so watery, all that they want to see is Jane Mensah going out. And as I said, it is most likely, and I won't be surprised, that they will push Jane Mensah out. Yes, I will say, there are certain pronouncements, and I'm not making that submission just on this platform. I've made it already when this issue started, that there are some things that are very unfortunate. One of them is what my senior panel member made about Bosman Asari. That was Akuffo to say that NDC is what? It's a threat. It's a threat to Ghana's democracy. How do you make this statement? And how did he come to this conclusion? You see, so if you are put in authority and you make such pronouncements, then you're also calling for your head. If the person you made that statement against comes into office. Even if that is true, and he gave us no basis, and I don't believe what he said. Even if that is your opinion and you believe it is true, for the mere fact that you are part of the electoral commissioners and you are a referee in this matter, even if it is true, I don't want to come and make these statements. Very unfortunate. Just like the Tokonu one, I also made a statement that even the posture, public posture of Tokonu, when President Mahama, then candidate Mahama, appeared to me, was very unfortunate. It created the scene that it's like she had something against President Mahama. When you are put in authority, you are not expected to make certain comments, and you are not expected to go certain routes. But I was expecting President Mahama to live above a certain threshold, not to be simply moved by the party members, but to know that, hey, now I have a country to govern. Let me focus and govern the country. Talking about NPP and then the economy and then President Akuffo never went for the 2024 elections. President Akuffo had a contest against President Mahama on 3 different occasions. Ghanaians approved President Akuffo on 2 occasions and approved Dramani Mahama on a single occasion, 2012. 2020, President Mahama lost the elections by about almost a million votes.
2020 was.
We ain't sem ahodoa itimi ekɔ so channel no so mam na wasaw jemre ɛwɔ ha da sene so obaade no edi adom bi edom ye ne yebesan aba awura